Hey, yo, y'all, what up? What up? What up? Well, I haven't been live in a few days, given the date of this live stream, but I just thought I'd stop by to say what up to y'all. Of course, like other live streams of this type, for those who aren't familiar with this style of live stream, I'll be talking about a lot of things besides just saying what up, along with saying what up. Yeah, so just trying to see kind of how uh waiting until some people get in the building. That way I can kind of get a mic check, a sound check. But in the meantime, let me try to get out some information. And that way, for those on the replay, for sure, I'll be saying what up to y'all too. Let me try to get out some information. Then I'll also wait until some other people get in the building, and then I'll possibly cam up just to say what up to everybody even more. Depending on how many people show up tonight, we'll see. Sometimes I have a big turnout, sometimes I don't. So either way, the message is getting out there, the truth is getting out there, and I hope it's a blessing to everyone. As a side note, yeah, I had a few uploads that I did the other day, but I deleted them because I don't know, I kind of made a few grammatical errors. Yeah, I made a few grammatical errors in them, so I just figured, let me delete them, then I'll just do one over again. So that's kind of what I got in mind for that. But yeah, someone brought to my attention, and you know who you are. Thank you very much. But they brought to my attention that I had made a grammatical error in one of my videos. So I was like, "Oh, I'm glad you caught that." So just took that one down, and I'll definitely be uploading another one in a few days. Maybe something similar to it, maybe not, just so I don't throw people off and make them think like I'm doing a duplicate. Nothing I do is duplicate for the most part. But let me get right off into some things I want to talk about. Well, one thing I want to talk about is well, the name of this channel, the name that I decided to go with here. As you can see, it's no longer theotherayj. It is now Rayism. Ray is him. Ray, it's him, Ray. But no, more importantly, I was given advice, some recommendations about just changing the name of my channel. I've done a good job with the previous name, The Other Ray J, and on other platforms, I am still The Other Ray J on other platforms. Like before I brought this name to YouTube, I was always The Other Ray J on Instagram, as well as Google Plus. Of course, Google Plus got shut down, and so I started using the name on Instagram, and it's still that way on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok as well, so you could catch me on TikTok. I'm still kind of new to that, so I'm trying to put out some more information. But yeah, also for those who were familiar with the Suave Nature channel, which was formerly known as Mac Era, that shall remain on Instagram, but it's also going to go on, Suave Nature is also going to be on other platforms outside of YouTube. So I want to make it more of a exclusive platform, one that just has exclusive content. So I'll give everybody some update about the next venture for Suave Nature in the not too distant future. So that's kind of the latest and the greatest on the Suave Nature, but kind of getting back to the name Rayism, because I had a few names I was going to go with for this channel to replace the other Ray J. And I was going to name this channel at first Suave Nature. I was, but I decided for but yeah, before I get to what I was going to say, I want to say that no one has Suave Nature on YouTube. You know, just looking up the algorithms. Yeah, just looking up the algorithms for the name Suave Nature, because that's kind of something I would recommend new content creators to do when you want to name your channel. See who else has that name, and it might be unique to you. Well, Suave Nature was unique to me, and I could have named it that, but I decided not to. Um, I wanted it to be more exclusive, so that's what I'm doing with the name right now as we speak. So, like I said, I'll keep everybody posted with that. I know I'm going to have to change a lot of my uh, information in my description sections of a lot of my uploads and live streams I've done so far, but it's all good. That's what you call business. That's what you do. But yeah, Suave Nature shall be outside of YouTube at this point, and it's going to be dope. So yeah, I'll let y'all know what that's going to be like soon. But why I changed it, why did I go the route of renaming my channel Rayism versus what I could have named it as Suave Nature? I just like I said, Suave Nature, I just felt it would be more exclusive. But Rayism, actually, I had a lot of inspirations for that name. Some of that I got to pretty much keep secret, but what I will say is that yeah, I was definitely inspired to use this name. I did look on YouTube for the name. People are using the word Rayism. There's only like 3 channels on YouTube using the word Rayism. However, none of them have Z in the name. I'm the only one with Z in the name of Rayism, so keep that in mind. Yeah, zoom zoom with the Rayism. So, uh, but I chose Rayism because this is not going to be like a player channel or nothing like that. It's not going to be like a pimping or even macking channel. It's not going to be nothing like that here with this idea of Rayism. If you look at what ism really is, it's just, you know, you having a certain idea, you know, you have a certain mindset, you have a certain way about yourself, the way you move, the way you groove. You can even describe that as your mojo, you know, this idea of what your ism is. Ism is how you move with your mojo in some ways. So Ray got his own kind of mojo. Ray got his own kind of way he moves. Ray got his own type of philosophy, the way he talks. And you can also just call this Ray's ism if you want to say that, because this is not really red pillism, blue pillism, black pillism. I can't even say it's majorly white pillism, even though I do talk about white pill a lot. But other people talk about white pill, and we don't have the same ideas about white pill. So I'm just moving into a new type of ism altogether. Just Ray's ism is different. It's not playerism. It's not Macism. It's not ballerism. It's not pimpism. It's not thugism. It's just Ray's ism. But it's definitely positive. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. Make sure y'all hit the like button as y'all step in, those in the clouds, but even those checking this out on the replay. But yeah, this is the dawn of a new day, I believe, here at this channel. This idea of Rayism. So there's going to be a lot more of this. I'm gonna be definitely going down a even more philosophical path with this channel, but also getting back to sort of the roots of this channel, how I started. So I started out like very cultural, and I want to get back to the cultural side of this channel. I kind of stepped away from that uh, uh, unintentionally. I stepped away from the cultural side of this channel. But like I said, I want to get back to that. Of course, some of you have probably checked out like some of the ups and downs that I've had here, but overall I've held up. I'm still good. We're just only getting better. I only get stronger, you know. But yeah, I want to get back to that. I want to get back to that. So you're gonna see a lot of different ideas of mine original to this channel from this channel. I try my best not to look at a lot of people. I do support other content creators, but I do this for my subscribers. my wolf pack. I still call y'all my wolf pack, even though y'all don't see the wolf, even though you see it in the thumbnail. So there's still reminders that Ray is still a certain way, even though he's going in a different direction now. But I chose to kind of take down a lot of the wolf influences, though. There's still some of it, as you see, but I just don't want people to think when they see wolf, they see Sigma, because I don't see wolf as Sigma. So I just kind of was like, let me kind of step away from that. But you see the question mark that y'all see as my not my thumbnail, but y'all see that as my avatar now. Yeah, you see that as my avatar, the question mark. So the question mark, that's usually the symbol of someone that is like an enigma. He or she, you can't label them. I used to think that that symbol was like the Sigma sign, but that's strictly a Sigma. So I was like, what is Enigma? And the closest thing I could come to Enigma is the question mark. So I was like, yeah, that's me. I'm definitely enigmatic like that. So question mark works for me. So there's that mystery, the question. Riddle me this, riddle me that. You see the question mark. And you can ask me a question. Sometimes I have questions. Sometimes I answer your question with a question. You know, it's just a lot of beauty in this idea of Rayism. Rayism makes you want to Rayism makes you want to ask a lot of questions. Some people question it. That's fine too, but once again, riddle me this, riddle me that. I think going forward, that's going to be the beauty of how this channel uh, grows. Is just getting more into the mysterious side of things. But I'll get right into some of the things I want to talk about tonight. But just in case I don't get a lot of traction tonight, and just so people know I'm still doing good out here, I'll just give y'all a quick wave right quick. So what it do, y'all, what it do. So much love to y'all, much blessings. Want y'all to still see I'm doing good out here. Doing real good. We only getting better. We only getting better. We only getting better. So yeah, more people come in the building. I'll cam up a little more. So, you know, just so I can meet and greet and talk to people, just kind of my way of reaching out to those who have been at my channel, you know, depending on the traction tonight. It is a Monday night, so you know, a lot of people could be busy right now. So you just never know. But with that said, one thing I want to talk about is in the US, the average life expectancy for men is about 76 years old, and for women, it is around 81 years old. Therefore, a man living to age 76 would produce about 24,000 pounds of poop over his lifetime, and a woman living to age 81 would produce about 25,920 pounds. So just a little fact for y'all. I just want y'all to think about that. And my goal of bringing that up is just work on your diet. We got literally a lot of crap in our lives that we need to get rid of. Literally, like not just a figure of speech, but we really got a lot of crap in our lives that we got to get rid of. I've been doing a lot of intermittent fasting, but I haven't done as much as I would like. So I'm trying to get back into that. But I now have a schedule, a work schedule that is going to be marvelous. Like I got my business that is taking off too. And I just now got more time to where I can start working out as well as, you know, dieting and things like that. And I think that will help get rid of some of this crap out of my life. And like I said, I hope y'all, and I encourage y'all to do the same thing, you know, just kind of work on bettering yourself in the health department, because I'm going to bring up health a lot as well going forward, because health is wealth. You want to talk about high value man and all that? How about a highly healthy man? How about that? I think that needs to be talked about. And woman, you know, she could be healthy too. I see more people coming in the building. Much love to y'all. Make sure y'all hit that like button as y'all come in. So hopefully some of y'all want to chop it up with yours truly in the chat. I'm just bringing up random stuff. For some of y'all that just got in the building, I just brought up how we produce a lot of poop in our life. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta have a better diet. You know, eat a little better so we don't have so much crap that we have to deal with in our life, literally. So it's just crazy though. 25,000 pounds. That means you produce enough poop in your life to fill up a semi trailer. That's crazy if you think about it. That's crazy. That is crazy. Wow. But yeah, another thing I want to bring up is you know, because I've been talking about spinsters long before a lot of people started to really use the term spinster. I was saying the word spinster at my channel in regards to talking about the encounters the Black Knight has. And ideally, you know, the Black Knight wants to meet a Twilight. And, you know, it just depends. She could have the spinster background, she could have the Dimsel background, but nevertheless, she has to aspire to take on a man's light and not take it for granted, if you will. But I've brought up this idea of the spinster, the damsel, you know, breaking down really the definition of damsel. People say damsel in distress, but they don't really tell you what damsel means. And I've brought it up many times before. If you don't know, just check out my playlist, Black Knight's Perspective, and check out my live streams called Female Black Knights, and I break all that down there. I break all of it down there. But but yeah, I've talked about damsels, I've talked about spinsters, I've talked about madams, and I haven't talked so much about widows. But one thing I will say is that widows aren't spinsters unless they killed the man in their life, if you will. Then she's still technically a spinster because she no longer has a man in her life. Keep that in mind. A widow just lost a man in her life, so that's different. But a spinster that basically no longer has a man in her life because of her doing, she's technically still a spinster, but just a sinister spinster at best, at most, at worst. Speaking of things like that, you know, I think about twerking. Sort of kind of a segue, but you see more spinsters twerking than damsels. But you know, you get a mixed bag. You get some of everything. You know, they all want to live their best life. A lot of them do. A lot of them that don't want a man in their life. But twerking, at first it was for men, but now it's for spirits and for herself spirit. What do I mean for spirits? She's trying to conjure up spirits with her twerking. What does she do when she twerks? She's getting arousals out of a lot of guys that she never wants to be with. She's just manipulating guys. She's bringing out spirits. But her self spirit is for her self satisfaction. Her having the spirit of Lilith and Jezebel via the succubus. She's bringing out her own self fulfillment, self enlightenment, if you will. I'm learning more about what really took place in the garden. And one thing I've realized is that there's a possibility that Eve could have actually gotten pregnant by the snake in the garden. I'll have to talk about that down the road, but I've been checking out a lot of that, and maybe hopefully that can spark some of y'all to check that out as well. But there's a lot to say of what actually took place in the garden besides just the snake getting her to bite the forbidden fruit. There's a lot to really say about that, and I'm gonna do my own studies on that, and just kind of give y'all my assessment of it one day. More than likely, I'll probably talk about it over at my spiritual channel, but I can still lightly talk about it over here. And for those that don't know, my spiritual channel is titled, at this point, it's titled Freeflow Uplifted. So we kind of going in an uplifting direction. That's what we want to do spiritually. We got to uplift each other, y'all. We got to lift each other, lift up each other. That's what we got to do in this day and age. But also I think about, I've talked about prototype woman before. I've talked about conceptual woman before. I've talked about a lot of this stuff. But one thing I can bring up is about, how failed prototypes still become a woman in a man's life. It's no different than a certain car, you know, kind of goes to that statement of one man's trash is another man's treasure. But in this case, what I mean is there are some things that might not come to light based on the limitation of that individual's vision or based on that time period. Certain things just couldn't come to light with certain ideas, certain designs, but someone else can take on that same idea or design and take it much further. So you have a lot of the feminine gender who only make it so far with certain guys, right? But she'll get around another guy that could actually take her further and she could be more utilized. See, ladies, when you're around a real man, you get utilized. When you're around a male, a typical male, you just get used. Keep that in mind. I'll repeat that one more time, ladies. When you are around a real man, you get utilized. When you are around a typical male, you just get used. So the real man finds a way to utilize you, despite the fact that you were probably used once before. And I know it's give or take. It just depends on the situation, and it's a lot to say about really the state of mind and the mind state of the way a lot of guys perceive a lot of the feminine gender these days. Even the fact that they don't think that you ladies really have what it takes to love a man. I didn't say this. I'm just saying what I hear a lot of guys say these days, and I'm not knocking what these guys are saying. I'm just kind of letting you know what is being said out here. But I always believe in reciprocation, though. I just believe a woman's love is a little different than a man's love. That's not to say she can't love, but her love is a little different. But ladies, don't try to make your love the same as a man's love. We love each other differently. But what I can say is that there are things about you that I would be able to show you in ways that another man never has. And that could bring out things in you positively that you never thought would ever come out of you, could ever be brought to light, could ever be utilized. So even though things may have failed with you before, depending on how a guy called himself trying to prototype you in his own way, but with me it's different. I could take you a step further, but it's going to be up to you to want that. It's going to be up to you to want that. It's going to be up to you to have that willingness to go further than just the failed prototype that you once were around a certain guy. So keep that in mind. On a side note, one of my favorite childhood programs was Reading Rainbow. Not really too much to say about that, but I always liked it. That guy that was I forgot his name, but yeah, he was on Star Trek and he also did Reading Rainbow. Actually, like the main reason why I watched his Reading Rainbow TV show was because he was also the same guy that was on Star Trek. So, that was kind of my thing growing up about that. So I know a lot of people can relate to Reading Rainbow. I still think it's a good program for kids, but that's my opinion. If something's changed about that, please let me know, especially those in the replay. But I thought it was cool to watch growing up. A side note is another side note. It's like I think about tribe versus family. I think about that. To me, I think there's too many families, therefore not enough warriors. We don't have enough warriors because we don't have enough tribes in this day and age. Everybody's just growing up in that American dream of a family. And I'll just cam up periodically for y'all. But I think overall, since this idea of there's just too many families, therefore not enough warriors because there's not enough tribes. I also think about the fact that, on a side note, it's just too much NFL and not enough warriors. So what I mean by this is you see all these guys on the gridiron. You see these guys on the gridiron, and basically they're not learning how to fight. They're just learning how to play football. American football for those for my international. I'm talking about internet. I'm talking about American football. But all this to say that football is the what? The NFL is the great American pastime. See what I'm saying? It's the great American pastime, the great American family pastime. You know, families watch, but there's nothing in it about a guy being a warrior. Ironically, though, there's a lot of techniques, like especially with the linemen, whether offensive or defensive. You know, they got to learn these different techniques, like how to move with their hands to kind of move back the other guy on the other side. You know, whether you're trying to sack the quarterback or protect the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I believe like there's certain aspects of being a warrior within the sport of American football, but beyond that, there's no emphasis on the warrior culture. And you think about the military, I think about the way I think about the way the soldier is built versus the NFL player. It could be similar, but you know, a lot of the soldiers are like, all that bulkiness is not going to help you in combat. You got to have a certain fire in you. You got to have a certain heart about you. That's what's going to help you get through this combat. So, hey, what's good? Fire Pack family up in the building. Good to see you. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Yeah, go ahead and see you in the building, fam. Give you a little peace sign. You dig? Little salute to you. Glad to see you in the building. Yeah. I want to, I guess, one more thing to touch upon, and let me get a little sip right quick, y'all. Let me get a little sip. All right. My main thing is in regards to this notion that there was like this I think it was like an upload on TikTok or Instagram, and there was this chick, and she was just like, you got to get away from the guys that are stuck on football, but yet they not learning how to be, you know, they don't know how to combat. They just know how to compete, but they don't know how to combat. Now, I just actually said that compete in combat, but what she was basically saying was guys ain't trying to fight. They just want to learn how to play football. They just watch football on Sunday, but they ain't really, learning how to really like survive and stuff like that. And I understood where she was coming from, even though it's kind of based from a different perspective of a chick that there's no telling what type of guys that she's been with before. But now she's all of a sudden realizing, or at least just now saying that you got to get around a guy that's like a warrior versus a guy that just wants to watch football every Sunday. Kind of funny, right? But at the same time, like I said, I understood where she was coming from, because I think that is important that guys do have some combat aspect of them. Yes, like I said, you either gonna compete or combat. Which one? I've never been a competitive type of person, but combative, let's just say I've seen some things. Let's put it that way. But there was this movie that I saw, just kind of shifting towards something else. I think it was a Tom Cruise movie. I forgot the name of the movie, but that was like a dope line that I heard someone say in that movie. And what they said in that movie was the cheapest female is the one you have to pay for. I was like, yo, that's dope. So that cuts out all this tricking. It cuts out all this simping. Now, trick and simp are not the same things. Trick and simp are not the same things. Now, one thing can be said, the trick, he pays with his money and the simp pays with his time. That's two differences there that I could show you about the trick versus simp. But in this case, we could just say it does apply to both trick and simp. The cheapest female is the cheapest female is the one you have to pay for. Now, one could say you're gonna have to spend some time with her. That's paying, right? Spend some time. But look at it this way. Y'all heard of this term, the honor system, before? Where it's kind of a reciprocating thing financially. Like you know, there's some days where you got me and then there's another day I got you. Well, that's how it's supposed to be with the feminine gender. She's supposed to what? Honor you, fellas. She's supposed to honor you, honor your time. You put out your time, she needs to put out that time back. If not, you ain't got time for that. Simple as that. So that's how you make sure you don't pay for your time like a simp. You're not wasting your time like a simp. Whereas a trick, he gonna pay for his time with her. If that makes sense. But once again, the cheapest female is the one you have to pay for. And I got that from a movie. But I thought that was so dope. Because any chick that you end up wasting your time with, she wasn't worth your time in the first place. She's cheap. She's a cheap type of a chick. Yes, she's definitely a cheap type of a chick if you ended up wasting your time with her. And ladies, so that goes for y'all. If you waste a guy's time, that just shows how cheap you are and how much you're not worth a guy's time, especially going forward. Don't be surprised if a guy tries to see you as not worth his time. But of course, I'm just talking this to the typical females, not the real woman. A real woman does not waste a man's time. Okay, she doesn't, because she doesn't want to be seen as cheap. You see? Now, keep this in mind. I said the cheapest female is the one you have to pay for. So, excuse my language, but the cheapest dick is the one you have to pay for, ladies. Keep that in mind. I'll let y'all ponder on that, ladies. The cheapest dick is the one you have to pay for. Now, you can be there for a man, be a helpmeet for a man. But if all you paying for is that man to come around to pipe you down, but you don't really want him around, or he doesn't stay around after he pipes you down, well, you basically settle for a cheap type of a guy. You settle for a cheap type of a guy. And with this whole high value man talk, some chicks make those guys cheap too, because all she wants him for is what? Money. She doesn't value his time. She only values his money. See how that goes? We got what, 30 minutes into this live stream? 32 minutes. Let's see. I also want to talk about this idea about the energy beyond alpha energy. Now, some of y'all already know I don't really go by labels. I don't see myself as like really this alpha male or this sigma male type of guy or whatever male, whatever labels out there. These are all positions, not labels to me. So, you know, somebody could be like, well, beyond alpha is sigma. I never saw it that way. I've never seen it that way. To me, it's just when you're beyond alpha, you're beyond labels. When you're beyond this idea of sigma, you're beyond labels. What is this energy that I'm talking about? Now, I brought up in a previous upload this thing called an aura. You got to have an aura, this certain energy that's beyond a certain alpha energy. Now, I'm gonna really simplify this for y'all. First and foremost, here's one way of simplifying it, because I've said this before. Now, usually when you associate with the word alpha, that means leader. Alpha usually means leader for the most part. At least that's how I have broke it down at my channel. That's how I pretty much broke all that down at my channel. Was alpha is leader. But who taught the alpha how to be a leader? Who taught the alpha how to be a leader? Some would say another leader taught that alpha how to be a leader, because that alpha wasn't an alpha at that time. But see, that all sounds kind of weird, right? Because one would say, well, he wasn't an alpha at that time, he was a beta. But then you have these guys I heard who say that they're alpha, who never felt like they were beta, who never felt like they had to follow people. They always felt like a born leader. So How do you teach someone that feels like they were a born leader? Well, I just gave you the answer within my question. Riddle me this, riddle me that. The leader has to be taught by a teacher. So what is beyond alpha energy? What is beyond leader energy? Teacher. Beyond a leader is a teacher. Simple as that. Beyond a leader is a teacher. Beyond a dom is a master. Mastermind. Master her mind. Master their mind. That's what's beyond alpha. You become an enigma. You become an enigma. That's what's beyond alpha. And to me, that's what the wolf represents. The wolf does not represent sigma. The wolf represents an enigma. For those that know where I'm coming from, always, always, always be wolf. Never be dog. Never be a dog. Because all those alpha, beta, sigma labels, that's for the dogs, not for the wolves. Okay? So for those that know where I'm coming from, always be wolf, never be dog. No one should ever be able to tame you or domesticate you. As a wolf man, our path of life was and is different than most. Your pain comes from being trapped as a wolf, not tamed. Being tamed completely silences a wolf, since wolves do not bark. It just silences a wolf. Now, this can apply for the feminine gender too. Those that feel very much enigmatic as well. But you don't tap truly into how enigmatic you are, ladies, until you get around a guy that's also enigmatic. Wolves have to be around other wolves. Nothing more, nothing less. What do I mean by nothing more? Because another wolf is as good as it gets. But of course, you never want less than a wolf, than another wolf. But yeah, since dogs can bark, they also get trained on when and how to bark. Keep that in mind. So you got a lot of folk, they talk about jawline and mouthpiece. Well, look at a pit bull. Got a nice little jawline, don't it? You got certain dogs, they got certain mouthpieces. They know how to growl, they know how to bark. They know how to pant. Stuff like that. Gals like some stuff like that. They like a guy that kind of sounds like, what's the guy of 3-6? Don't tell me his name. Juicy J. You know, when he doing that thing in the background. Some chicks like that. It gets them turned up. But with a wolf, it only communicates one way. When you're a certain type of guy, you only communicate one way. Very direct, very straightforward, very simplified, very much that one way. There ain't no other way. There ain't no other type of slick talk. There ain't no other type of mouthpiece and things like that. You don't have a certain jawline. You just have a certain look. Everything about you represents visceral and wild and not tamed and not domesticated. That's kind of why I say, like, all that embodies this enigmatic side of you. This is who you are, and this is something you were born as, not something you became. This is something that you felt at a young age. You were like a black sheep, but not that you were outcasted or nothing. You were always just seen as different. Since you were young, you had certain gifts. You had certain talents about yourself that set you apart, and it made you greater than a lot of people without you even saying it, without you bragging it. But you had to always still carry about a certain way. Like, you had to carry yourself about a certain way in regards to just being humble about your greatness, if that makes sense. This energy beyond alpha energy that I'm talking about. Now, I still believe in certain aspects of alpha, but I call it alphaism. So it's a little different than just saying you're an alpha male. I believe anybody can have this thing called alphaism. Um, I'll talk more about it as I'll definitely talk more about it as time goes on. I think I've done an upload about it. I've at least done one upload about alphaism, but I'm gonna talk more about it. There's things that I could break down because there's other ways you can talk about it. But it's just really at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it's about inspiring other people to be greater. It's a little different than someone telling you to be the best version of yourself. No, I'm just trying to show you how to be better, to be greater, because hey, you still evolving. Your best self ain't here yet. And even when you think you at your best, there's still some more we haven't seen yet. So it's about that inspiration. It definitely is. But let's keep in mind, let's talk more on this dog and yeah, we're gonna talk more about the dogs now versus the wolves. We explain enough about the wolf side of things. But most of these F boys are dogs that were dogged out. You know, you got chicks, you know, they say chicks get turned out. Well, some guys get dogged out. How about that? And then they become F boys. See, that's what happens. As a gentleman, fellas, if you are like a wolf man type of a guy, you know, more on this enigmatic side of things, something mysterious, something just different, like as a certain gentleman, you might even have certain aspects of being a black knight, as I've talked about many times at this channel. But yeah, as a gentleman, no one should ever be able to change your nature. So similar to what I just said about no one should be able to tame you or domesticate you. But also keep this in mind. Her nature, yes, her nature, the feminine gender, the one that's not being a real woman, her nature shouldn't change your perspective. Because see, a real woman supports your perspective. But a typical female ain't trying to support your perspective. She's trying to change it with her nature. See what I'm saying? But that's pretty much all I wanted to chop it up with y'all about tonight. Nothing more. Just wanted to say what up to y'all. And I hope everybody doing well out there. I'll try to be back in a few days with another live stream. I got some more on the way. I just, like I said, I got some new opportunities that have showed up. And gonna be trying to get more into that. Gonna be getting more into those things. But I'm definitely still gonna be chopping it up with y'all, especially at this as this channel is restructuring itself. Expect a lot of high quality content coming up very soon. I've just been condensing a lot of my talking points. So expect some real gold, platinum, diamond type of greatness here in the next few days. But yeah, there's definitely a few uploads I got to redo because I had a few grammatical errors with them, but that's no biggie. That happens sometimes. A lot of content creators do that from time to time, but they still keep their uploads up. I don't. I take them down and I just do them all over again. So, but much blessing y'all, and yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. I think I said enough just to be saying what up to y'all, and I hope y'all doing good. Y'all continue to be blessed, and I'll see y'all on the next one. So hope y'all enjoy my new name, which is Rayism. Yes, that's what we about now. We about this new thing, this new philosophy, this new way. Rayism. But it's not me just really telling y'all how to be the way I want y'all to be. It's really just more or less, I want y'all to see the way I have to be, and maybe that will inspire one of y'all, ladies and gentlemen. But much love to y'all. Much, 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 much love to y'all. So with that said, till next time, signing out. But yeah, y'all have a good one. Y'all have a good one. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Once again, oh, by the way, yeah, those on the replay, make sure that y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. Follow the channel, subscribe to it. Follow my other platforms that I'm on. You'll see that in the description section. Check out my playlists. You'll see that I have a lot of different things to talk about. You should be able to see my email if you want to reach me, business or personal. Either way, it don't matter as long as you're being respectful. You'll also see where you can tip me if you want to tip yours truly. And no expectation, no obligation. Yeah, no expectation, no obligation. Just appreciation if you want to tip yours truly. But other than that, one more thing is to make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you get my uploads in real time. And it's only getting better from here. It's only getting better from here, no matter what it looks like out there. And despite the fact that I know Hurricane Ida showed up on these shores, unfortunate, my condolences, but it's going to get better from here. It's still going to get better from here. I've always said that those down there, they need to leave the Gulf shores. Those that live by the shores need to move away from the shores, move more inland. Nothing wrong with going to the shores to visit, but not to live. That's just my opinion. I'm just a guy from the Midwest that been living inland, and I don't see water my way because I'm inland. And I just hope that those that live on these shores, these coastal places, maybe y'all realize that, hey, you need to kind of move more inland. And that way you don't have to worry about getting flooded and stuff like that if a hurricane or a tsunami shows up or something like that. But much love to y'all, and for all the families that were affected by Hurricane Ida, you're in my prayers, and my condolences to those who have had to deal with loss during this time of the hurricane season, or at least what took place with Hurricane Ida. Until next time, signing out. Much love, y'all, and thanks for stopping by.